From the moment she stepped into the glass-walled conference room, the air changed. The mocking eyes, the whispered smirks, the silent judgments that had chased her for years suddenly surrounded her like shadows closing in. Her cheap, faded blouse clung awkwardly to her shoulders, the buttons worn from too many washes, and the skirt she wore had been stitched 3 times at the seams. Anyone else might have cowered. But not her. She lifted her chin, even though her heart trembled beneath the weight of a lifetime of humiliation. What they didn't know, what they could never imagine, was that this moment was not her downfall, it was the start of her rise. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of not judging others by their appearance, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps our channel grow. Her name was Emily Hart, a woman who had survived more storms than most people ever knew existed. She came from a small town where dreams were luxuries and opportunities were rare. Raised by a single mother who worked double shifts at a bakery, Emily learned early that life was harsh and people were often harsher. She remembered the way kids at school laughed at her thrift store shoes, how teachers mistook her silence for weakness, how every room she entered seemed to push her to the edge, reminding her that she did not belong. But despite everything, she carried inside her a stubborn spark, a belief that circumstances could define her temporarily but would never dictate her destiny. Years later, after moving to the city, she took a receptionist job at a huge corporate firm, one where wealth, class, and appearances were treated like currency. Every morning she walked past polished floors and high-end suits, feeling the truth sting her a little deeper. She was invisible to them unless they needed to mock something. Some employees mocked her clothes openly, some behind her back, but the cruelty was the same. A group of women would fix their designer bags on their shoulders and whisper about how her entire outfit probably cost less than their lunch. Men joked that she dressed like someone stuck in the wrong decade. Even the senior executives never acknowledged her presence long enough to recognize her potential. But what none of them knew was that Emily was studying every spare second she had. While others scrolled through social media or gossiped during lunch, she devoured online business courses, leadership modules, and finance certifications. She had a notebook filled with ideas, real, impactful strategies that could save failing departments and boost profits. She knew the company better than many executives. She spent countless nights sitting in her tiny apartment, beside a single flickering lamp, dreaming of a better life. Not for revenge, not to prove anyone wrong, but simply because she believed she deserved a chance to become something more than the world expected her to be. Life shifted the day she met the founder of the company, an elderly man named Mr. Alder, who quietly observed people more than he spoke. One morning, he arrived early and saw Emily organizing a stack of reports in the lobby. He noticed the precision, the care, the way she handled things with respect even though no one respected her. Curiosity pulled him in. He began asking her small questions, then bigger ones. And when he realized she understood the business in a way many executives never had, he began meeting her privately. He listened to her ideas, studied her plans, and encouraged her without ever hinting at his intentions. Emily thought he simply appreciated a sharp mind. She never guessed he was preparing her for something far greater. Then came the shocking announcement: the company was undergoing leadership restructuring, and the founder would be appointing a new CEO. Whispers filled the building. Everyone expected the role to go to a wealthy board member or a high-ranking executive. No one even considered the possibility that a woman wearing second-hand clothes, who worked as a receptionist, could be chosen. On the morning of the announcement, Emily was asked to attend the executive meeting. She stood before them, nervous, unnoticed, underestimated. The executives looked at her as if she had mistakenly walked into a room far above her pay grade. A few smirked. Others sighed impatiently. One woman even folded her arms with a look that said, "Why is she here?" The humiliation was familiar, almost comforting in its predictability. Then the founder walked in. Mr. Alder cleared his throat, scanned the room, and finally let his eyes rest on Emily with a warmth no one else understood. He announced that she was the new chief executive officer of the entire corporation. For a moment, the world stopped. The faces around her shifted from arrogance to disbelief, then to discomfort, then to something close to fear. The same people who had mocked her clothes, her background, her very existence now stood frozen, powerless, stripped of the superiority they had clung to for years. As she stepped forward, the room felt different. Emily no longer saw the mocking eyes or judgmental expressions. She only saw the path she had carved with resilience. She wasn't wearing expensive clothes, but she wore something far more valuable: grit, hard work, intelligence, and humility. She carried herself with a calm dignity that no designer brand could ever match. Her voice didn't tremble. Her hands didn't shake. She no longer felt small. And in that moment, her entire past, the poverty, the humiliation, the late-night studying, the struggle to believe in herself, rose behind her like an invisible army reminding her she had earned everything. Some executives avoided her eyes. Others lowered their heads in regret. A few still struggled to accept the truth, but their opinions didn't matter anymore. Emily had stepped into a role she deserved, not because of appearance, privilege, or connections, but because she had fought for it quietly, relentlessly, and with more heart than anyone in that room. And the first decision she made as CEO was simple but powerful. She implemented a policy ensuring no employee would ever be judged, mistreated, or overlooked because of how they looked or where they came from. It was her way of rewriting the culture, starting with the very pain she had once endured. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe so we can continue bringing you more inspiring stories. Before we end, Speech Balloon, please comment below. Never judge anyone, you don't know their story.